I had that experience the other day working on my dream with my therapist, and it was a beautiful moment of aha, like, oh my gosh.
Well, and I think too that when you work on dreams, when you're doing dream work, and especially in the dream work that you and I have done together, that it's incredibly, incredibly refreshing, almost like a good night's sleep or a cool shower after a really hot workout. It's just refreshing. You feel relaxed, you feel clean. There's not really, your mind feels like it's been unloaded.
Yeah.
So,
I had that experience the other day working on my dream with my therapist, and it was a beautiful moment of aha, like, oh my gosh. That piece that you said just then, that it feels like a clean shower when you get an aha, or you have a rested sleep when you didn't really feel that rested until you were working on the dream. So that kind of response is what we call the aha in understanding dreams. And it is, and I'm convinced of this, it is the unconscious and the conscious kind of coming together to say, this is what we've wanted you to get, and now you've got it. Because in our initial understanding of dreams, because dreams are so not honored in our culture and in our world, that we go with the initial feeling, we go with the initial interpretation of dreams, which is really coming out of the literal world of saying, well, if I dreamed I had a car wreck, that means I had a car wreck, and that's kind of a scary thing. If we look at dreams symbolically and help the part of us that is afraid of car wrecks, which is a very healthy, normal part, and we help that part calm down, and we wonder with a group or with a trusted other, what might a car wreck be symbolizing? Well, in my understanding, cars in dreams sometimes talk about relationships. And then, bam, excuse the pun, about a wreck, there we are. We have the understanding that maybe there is a wreck happening in my relationships. And I need to wonder about that, because sometimes our inner self can kind of perceive things that our conscious self can't. And so through the inner self and through the dream world, we have this message. And it may not be that our relationship is indeed going to crash and burn. However, it may be a worst case scenario that the dream is inviting us to consider. And it is, in a sense, a wake-up call. And so when you said you wake up and you feel out of the dream work, you feel refreshed. It's like that's what the dream was wanting us to have.
well, in my dream work with you, one of the things that has been so important about it, and I think that brings the real advantage to me, is that it allows for the other's perspective, so that what my perspective may be of the car crash, maybe it's being scared of the car crash, or maybe it is scared about a relationship, or there's something going on with my relationship, but it may be something else. It may be related to some fear that I have that's outside of that. It may be related to work, or it may be related to stepping outside of what I'm familiar with.
So what you're pointing out wonderfully is that all dreams have multiple levels of meaning, and they are all right, because we are multiple beings. We have a life here, we have a life there, and so the dream is constantly talking to us and yearning for our health and wholeness. So you're pointing out how dreams do have multiple levels of meaning. So another part that you are pointing out and inviting is that the projective process of dream work means that if we have at least one other, and hopefully 3 or 4 others, or even a larger group, that if, in my case, if I share a dream with the other or these other persons, then the guidelines are always that the others borrow the dream, and so they do not interpret or analyze me as the dreamer. They simply take on the dream as their own dream. And so when they share, perhaps in language like this, if this were my dream, if you shared as in that language, if this were my dream, then I have the space and the place to listen to you talk about your dream. And then it is yours, and I don't feel analyzed or intruded upon or defensive. It's like if you're going to talk about your relationships that may be a wreck, well, I don't have to look at mine. However, I may have an aha because you give me the space of reflecting about your life, and then I can reflect about my life. And that is how DreamWork builds a compassionate community of persons who care about themselves and care about each other. And so in Healing for Healers, dreams are always yearning for us to move towards health and wholeness. And as we explore dreams non-judgmentally and in a non-shame-based way and in a way of wonder and curiosity, we become refreshed, we become restored, and we become healed. And with this assumption that the dream is there on our side, and that helps us to move into health and healing for ourselves. And then we are so much more available to be there for the other in health and healing.